Welcome to the Interesting Podcast, episode 103. This episode is Katie Hardin, who is a friend of mine. We met back in, I believe, Chicago of last year, at the last Star Wars celebration. Katie and I met. We did this Millennium Falcon experience with previous guest Savannah Odit as well. It was a good time, but Katie is a flight attendant, not a stewardess. I call them stewardesses, and apparently that's wrong. And then she taught me the correct term, and then I still said stewardess at the end of this. So forgive me, it happens. I'm working on it. Yeah, so how cool is that? The second I realized that, I was like, I have so many questions. You need to come on the show. And she's so great. She's so nice. She's from Milwaukee, so obviously we had to talk about cheese. I love cheese. So we talked about different kinds of cheese. Did you know cheese could be curds and also cold? Had no idea. Anyway, save that for the show. Talk about cheese curds. We talk about how she became a flight attendant. We talk about the term flight attendant that I just learned. We talk about what exactly that job entails, what the schedule is like, common misconceptions about it, her favorite airport, her longest flight, all kinds of stuff. Little behind-the-scenes look at how being a flight attendant works. Different airports, airplanes. A bunch of, if you've had questions about flight attendants, most likely it gets answered in this episode, and Katie is awesome. So let's just do it. Let's get into it. Here we go. Please enjoy the Interesting Podcast, episode number 103 with Katie Hardin. Theme song time. Days off, that's good, right?
Yeah, last day off before about another 5 days on.
Whew. Is that usually how it works?
Yeah. It's usually about 2 or 3 days off, and then I try to set it up where I get like 3 days off and then 4 days on.
Nice, not
sometimes,
bad.
Yeah, sometimes it changes a little bit, but
sure, as with most jobs, I assume.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy.
Right on. It's always good to have days off, though.
Yeah,
so
I enjoy
hear.
them. Yeah. Yeah, what are those, right?
Yeah, exactly. Man. So you're an hour behind me. So where are you?
Yes, I am up in the Milwaukee area.
Oh, Wisconsin.
Yes. So I'm in Pewaukee, which is about 20 minutes west of Milwaukee.
Okay. I've never been to Wisconsin.
It's awesome.
Are you from there?
Yes, born and raised.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Yeah.
So you can handle winter.
Yeah, unfortunately. I wish I didn't have to, but kind of comes with it.
For real. Is it true that cheese is a big thing there?
Cheese is huge here.
Really?
So the big thing is like the cheese curds.
Oh.
And you can either get them like fresh and cold or fried. I personally do not like the fried ones, which everyone here thinks is crazy. I like the cold ones. And if you buy like a fresh bag of them at the store and you chew them and they squeak like in your teeth, like that's how you know they're really fresh.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, little cheese tip for you.
Cheese tip, huh? What's your favorite kind of cheese?
I really like Munster or pepper jack.
Wow, those are unconventional choices.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Munster. I don't think I've ever had Munster cheese.
Munster? No, it's like a white cheese with I don't know, there's like a little, the outside of it is kind of like orange.
Oh.
Like it has an interesting flavor. I like it. It's different, but I like it.
Okay. Munster cheese. I've had pepper jack for sure.
Yeah, pepper jack. That one's a little more common because they have pepper jack at like Subway or something like that. But yeah, Munster's a little different.
Huh. I'm boring, so cheddar. It's obviously.
Well, you can't go wrong with cheddar.
That's what I'm saying, right? Play the hits.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the classics with cheese. So cheese curds is a big thing. I didn't know cheese curds cold was a thing.
Yes. Huh. Yeah, that's like, so with like work, we have a lot of people stay in Milwaukee overnight and they never have been here before. So I'm always recommending, we have an area downtown called the Public Market, and it's
Sweet.
all like locally sourced food and like crafts and stuff like that. So I'm
Hmm.
always recommending to get the cold cheese curds because you can get fried cheese curds wherever you go,
Right.
but it's those cold ones that you got to try when you're here.
Ah, okay. It's an
Yeah.
area thing.
Mm-hmm.
And do they have all different kinds of cheese for these cheese curds, or is there
Oh
usually a...
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Does
get all
all cheese
sorts.
come in curd?
That is a really excellent question, actually. I'm
Thank you
not
very
sure if you
much.
can curd any cheese. I would assume I would assume you can. Um, but yeah, I'm not too sure about that one.
Uh-oh, Katie. Uh-oh.
I know.
We found the limit of your cheese knowledge.
Is I've reached the end.
Yeah. I like that curd is now a verb. These are
Yeah,
the things
you
that I do.
curd it.
You
Yeah.
curd it. Yes. I mean, I guess it makes sense, like curdle milk, except that's a bad thing.
Yeah, you don't want that. It's a good thing when it's cheese, but milk
Yeah.
that's not good.
You don't want to curdle cheese, but you do want to curd cheese.
Curd. You curd
What
it.
a
Yep.
weird word. Curd. Do you ever have those words where you say it over and over and then
Now you
after a
say it
while?
more and more.
Yes, and then you're like, that's not a word. I gotta be saying it
Yeah, it
wrong.
doesn't sound right anymore.
Yes, that's me in the word bowl. Anytime I say
Bowl.
bowl, if you say bowl like 5 times in a row, you're like, bowl. Am I saying that right? Bowl? That's a
Now it does
word?
bowl.
Right?
Wait, bowl or bowl? Like a
Bowl.
bowl, like a dish,
Yeah,
or a bowl like an animal?
like a cereal bowl.
Bowl.
I know, it's
Yeah,
weird,
now that
right?
doesn't sound right.
That's what I mean. My God, this is the plight of being me.
Oh my God.
Bowl. And now curd. Huh. Interesting. I know what I learned today.
You love words, don't you?
Sometimes, if I knew how to
They're
speak.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from North Carolina, so that we don't enunciate. You just kind of mesh them
Just
together.
yeah, it's slurs. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I have an uncle who I can understand him, but my wife can't.
Oh boy.
So, so
You have
that's
to be
always
like the
fun.
translator.
Yeah, so that's always fun. He'll like tell this story, and then I'll just start laughing, and I'm laughing too, and she's like, "Yeah, I get it."
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, that's probably how people feel about the massive amounts of cheese knowledge that we're dropping here today.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
Interesting.
riveting.
I wonder if there's certain cheeses that would be better as a curd than like alternatively. And if there are some cheeses
So
that you never
I
curd.
so from experience,
Yes, here we
one
go.
of my favorite cheese curds is like, so I'm not like a dill pickle fan,
Okay.
but there's a dill cheese like
Oh,
that has dill in it,
weird.
obviously, but it's like it's a white cheese with dill.
Huh.
And I like that. I've never seen it in a non-curd form. I've only seen it in cheese curd form.
Sure.
So maybe that is just a curd cheese instead of like a sliced cheese. I'm not sure.
Huh. You know what just occurred to me? Uh, I couldn't pass it. I'm sorry.
that was golden.
My last name is Ballance, all right? I live in puns.
You got to take that opportunity.
Exactly. They don't come up that often either. Words. I'm not good at them.
Oh, I love words.
Yeah, my God. Cheese. I like cheese. Cheese is good.
Cheese is
Milwaukee.
delicious.
So
Yeah.
you and I met at Celebration last year.
Yes.
Which
But did
was
we meet
awesome.
just this one in Chicago, or did we meet in Orlando?
We may have met at the meetup for the Orlando one?
Yes. I think in Orlando very briefly, but then we actually like got to talk to each other in Chicago.
Yes. Which was
Okay.
awesome.
Yes.
Because I remember we did that Millennium Falcon thing.
Yes,
Our
that was so
group.
cool. And we got that like tour. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Because I remember I had to be the translator for the Mandalorian panel because I was the one that got in. And then I came back and I was like, here's everything I saw.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you gave
Yeah.
us the inside scoop on that one. Yeah.
Which I didn't have the heart to tell you. I have the memory of an Alzheimer's patient. So I have no idea. Half
Well,
of
I
that.
hope you told us the truth.
I'm
Unless you were
sure.
just
Okay. I'm
filling in the gaps with what sounded good to you.
Yeah, I'm sure I told the truth. I'm not sure I told the whole truth.
Okay, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
I
As long as what you told us is true,
That
I'll
is
accept
yes.
that.
That is 100%. I can stand on that ground. Uh,
That's good.
but I cannot, in full clear conscience, say that I told you everything that happened.
That's
Uh,
okay. It leaves a little bit more to be surprised by in
yeah,
November.
that's
So
right. I
that's
like
fine.
that mentality because it lets me
Okay.
off the hook.
There you go.
But I found out shortly after that you were a stewardess, which is a
Yes.
fascinating career path
It's
that
so
I
much
always
fun.
think about all the time. And I've been traveling a whole lot more. So now I think about it even more.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, was that something you always wanted to do? Or,
Yeah. So for the last maybe, 4 or 5 years, I
Mhm.
kind of decided that's where I wanted to get to.
Right on.
Growing up, I always traveled with a lot with my family. So that's always been like a bug. I've always had the travel bug. And then been in customer service for about the past 10 plus years for
Nice.
work. So I figured, I'd combine the two and then I get to travel all the time and talk to people. And then it just timing worked out well enough last year where I was able to finally get into this job.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. The perfect
Yeah.
mesh of the
So
two.
yeah, it's great. I absolutely love it. I've been doing it for about a year now.
Nice. You still like it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
important.
it's a lot of fun. Yeah. And everyone always says it's like if you can make it through the first year,
Yep.
that's where it just all starts getting better after that. So,
Makes
and
sense.
last week I just hit my 1 year mark.
There
So,
you go.
yeah,
Congrats.
thank you.
You made it past the year.
I did. Yeah.
And you didn't do anything that got you fired. So that's good. That's important.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm doing well in that
Yeah.
case. I'm
So
not
far, so
fired
good.
yet.
Yeah. Pour some out for the ones that didn't. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
man. So is being a stewardess is because I have zero frame of reference whatsoever.
Hmm.
Is that something you have to go to school for? Do you do on the job? Do you have to kill the
Yeah.
person who had it before and then take their
Yeah.
identity?
You just take, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew
It's
it.
survival of the fittest on
I
that one.
knew it.
Yeah. So each airline depends on the airline that you're working for. Their training timeline is a little bit different. Mine was 31 days we had our training center in Salt Lake City.
Nice.
So I
That is not
basically
close.
got the job when I was in the airport on my way down to Walt Disney World. I got the email saying I got the job.
Awesome.
So I got to celebrate at Disney, which was pretty fun.
Sweet.
And then like not even 2 weeks after I got back, I like packed everything up and I headed to training for a month.
Wow.
And it was like 31 days straight every day. I had 2 days off within those 31 days, but other than that, it was every single day
Wow.
for probably at least 12 hours a day
Really?
of training. Yeah, and the majority of the training time is all like emergency training and medical
Ah,
and evacuations, all that kind of stuff, whereas the majority of our job is actually we're serving and stuff like that,
right.
but we only get maybe 2 days worth of training in that, where everything else is all of the safety stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have to like stand up in front of the class and give the safety belt thing?
Yeah. Yeah, we all had to take our turn doing the fun demo that nobody pays attention to, but you are required to do it.
Yeah, fair. If it makes
Yeah.
you feel any better, I pay attention.
Well, I appreciate that. You
Right?
can always tell there's maybe one or two people that are actually like looking at you and doing it. I honestly prefer if people aren't looking at me because it kind of takes the pressure off of getting it right.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm actually
Yeah.
I have a little notepad that I critique. I'm like, not my belt. Nope.
Why so
That's
you're rating everybody.
Yep. It's been a perfect
Okay.
score so far, but just saying, if I'm on the
Wow.
flight, none of that is
Okay. I
true.
might be a little intimidated
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I'm actually a plant from your teachers at school.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
It's like sky marshals, you know? It's like you don't
So you
know
have to
which one
pass
it
off
is.
on these. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. I hand a post-it note to the captain at the end. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
All right, not bad.
Or you better call her supervisor.
Yeah.
She's not performing well.
Exactly. Exactly. I asked for pretzels and he gave me Cheez-Its.
Oh,
Just saying. And then
that's
walk
like the
out.
end of the world.
Yeah.
It is funny when you offer Cheez-Its to people think you're saying Jesus. So it's like, do you want cookies or Jesus? And they're like, I'm sorry, Jesus? Yes, Cheez-Its.
That's right. You're in Milwaukee,
It's
please.
very
All right.
confusing.
That is hilarious. I'll have
I mean,
both, please.
Yeah, you can have Jesus as well,
That's
but
right.
you can
Yeah.
also have Cheez-Its if you'd like.
We're a full service airline.
Yeah,
Uh,
we don't hold back here.
That's right.
You get it all.
That's so funny. How many do you know how many flights you've been on?
You know what? Somebody just asked me this question like 2 hours ago, and there's an app I
And
need to get where I can log all of my trips,
oh,
and
that's
it will
cool.
show me, yeah, it'll show me all my flights and all my miles that I've flown and like put it on a map too, so I can see all the places I've been to.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, I have yet to do it,
Okay.
but
It's a cool
over
idea.
the past year, it is in theory like it'd be great. I'd love to have
Yeah.
that information because I get asked that all the time. You'd think I do it by now.
Oh,
Um,
Katie.
but you know what? I probably when I'm working, like if I'm on a 4-day trip or something, each day I average about 3 flights per trip.
Wow.
So, it's like 12 flights a trip. I don't know. I want to say I've done, 500
Oh,
flights since starting,
oh,
somewhere in there. It's a lot. Yeah.
goodness. So are you at the point now where like turbulence, you're like, oh, please.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't even. Okay, there was one just a couple weeks ago. We had really, really bad turbulence. And I
Oh.
could I could see people leaving their seats, and
Oh.
like it was pretty bad. But
Oh.
I know it like scared me for like 1 second, and then I was like, we're good. We're good. This is normal. It happens all the time.
Oh, man. One in a
So, but
year,
yeah,
that's not bad. And 500 flights,
exactly. Yeah.
it's a pretty good average.
So, and yeah, and they reassure us in training that, there's nothing to worry about with turbulence. It's normal. It's just like hitting speed bumps in the air. So you're fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We're all
Yeah,
fine.
no big deal. Everyone's fine here.
Sheesh. Yeah, I still get nervous. What's weird about me is I always look at the safety card, right? And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, in case of we land in the water, here where the rafts are, here's how the stuff is, and I like memorize it. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I'm always traveling over land.
Right.
So
Yeah, so it's like good information to know, but you won't need it
not at
because you're not
all.
going over the water.
That's what I'm saying every time, and like it's a force of habit because I just look at them. I'm like, all right, cool. I am totally prepared in case we
Uh-huh.
land in water, and I'm always flying inland, and I'm like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Because I like
You know
take it
what,
really
though?
serious.
That's good, though, because we will need at least one person
Yeah.
that knows what's going on.
Yeah,
So you can be that guy
I will.
no matter what. Yeah.
In the event that from Florida to California we decide to go the opposite direction over water.
You could pass over a really big lake.
That's true.
You never know.
You know what? That's a good point. Sully
So
landed a plane in the Hudson, so
it's exactly, there you go.
not bad at
So
all.
never a bad idea to be prepared.
That is a great bit of validation. Ha
There
That's
you
awesome.
go.
Yeah, makes me feel a little better.
Good. I'm glad I could help.
Sheesh, I'm like, I'm such an idiot. I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, oh yeah, Detroit. They're known for their ocean. It's nuts.
Yeah, there's a lot of them there.
Good lord. Do you have a favorite airport?
Favorite. Okay, I'm very, very biased, and I like the Milwaukee airport a lot.
That's fair.
Because it's not, it's a little smaller,
Sure.
and it's just, it makes me feel like I'm home because
Sure.
I grew up flying in and out of that one. I'm based out of O'Hare in Chicago, so I'm
Nice.
very familiar with that one. I'm not a huge fan of it because it's so massive
Yep.
and it takes forever if you're on United, they're in like 4 different terminals or 4 different concourses. So you have to go sometimes like
Oh.
20 minutes just to get to a different gate.
Ooh.
So it can be a lot while you're, carrying everything, and
Sure.
the uniform's very, very toasty. So
Oh boy. You
yeah, it
gotta
can be
book
pretty
it
warm.
if it gets
Yeah,
late.
sometimes, yeah, it's not so fun hauling all that stuff to the airport. But I can tell you my least favorite airport
Yeah.
is Atlanta.
Fair. That is
Yeah,
fair.
I avoid that airport like the plague. It
I mean,
is
it is
awful.
massive.
Yeah.
And
And I think it was just ranked the busiest airport in the world.
yeah, I believe it.
So
I
yeah,
believe
I
it.
am not a fan of that one.
I remember flying into Atlanta one time and we like had to wait for landing and looking into like the sky around us. There were planes all around us, like
Isn't that cool? You can
circling.
kind of see them lined up, like
Yeah.
ready to land.
I was like,
That's
what
kind of
is
cool.
going
Yeah.
on? It's so weird. Yeah. Atlanta's
It
nuts.
must, yeah, it's crazy. It can get so backed up that nobody can even get on the, there's so many planes waiting to take off that there's no room for anybody to land.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Man, I just flew into San Francisco,
Hmm.
and their airport is being worked on because they had like one runway open or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew, that adds a few hours to delays.
I think they were estimating an average of about 3 hours for
Ooh.
delays while that was closed. It just opened back up a couple days ago. But
Oh, sweet.
yeah,
Just
I know.
missed
I
it.
was so glad. Like, I don't do too much flying out on the West Coast. So I was really happy
Yeah,
during that time that I didn't have to deal with that.
sure. Man, some people did not handle it well. There was
Yeah,
one
I can
woman that
imagine.
got smashed. This one
Oh
woman got so
no.
drunk and she was walking around. She just like would sit at tables, be like, "Hi, I'm gonna bother you. So where are you going?" And I was like, I'm going over here." And she's like, "All right, cool."
Oh,
And then she
wow.
she was walking. She fell over and knocked over a chair at the table next to us, and she was surprised because she was so drunk that she didn't realize what happened. She just was on the floor, and it
Oh
was
my
like, "Are you okay?" She's
gosh.
like, "What happened? I'm good. All right, so over here."
Nothing happened. I'm fine.
Yeah, I was like, "No, you're good. Here's your bag."
Oh my word.
Yeah, people are funny.
Yeah,
I like the
airports are great for
Detroit.
people watching.
I like the Detroit airport a lot.
Detroit is nice. Yeah, it's really long. Like
Yes.
if you land at one end and you have to make a connection, you could be at the completely opposite end and there's like 90 gates
Yeah,
that you have to
that's
walk
true.
past. Yeah.
But you got
But
that
it's a
tram.
nice one.
The tram's what makes it for me. There's like
That
that
is
that
a game
the
changer.
Delta train thing that's like
Hmm.
up there. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever because you don't have to run anymore.
They were, I think, like remodeling the track or something for maybe 4 months. So it was out of
Ooh.
service.
Oh no.
And that was during the winter, so there's already like snow delays. And then I've got everybody saying, I have all these connections. And I'm like, you can take the
Ooh.
tram. Just kidding, you can't. It's out of order, so it's going to
Oh
take you twice as long to get
no.
down to your connection.
Ooh.
That is never fun to have to deal with.
I bet. Customer service, man. And traveling people are already pretty tense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do not
Yeah,
want to.
a huge part of the job is just dealing with a lot of angry people and trying to make them a little bit less angry
Yeah, I bet.
as much as you can. Yeah,
Good lord. And you've got to be the messenger, which has got to be the worst part of it. Because you're like,
exactly.
I'm
Because I'm
not making
stuck in
the
the middle.
rules. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like, it's been
yeah,
delayed 4 hours. What? Yeah, I didn't do it.
yeah. I'm not any more happy about it than you are because
Yeah.
I'm also sitting on this plane.
Yeah.
So
That makes two of us, buddy.
yeah, exactly.
I understand I'm wearing the colors of the people that hurt you, but
I am not one of them.
yeah. Oh man. Was it a tough job to learn?
Um, at first it was more just like it is not a difficult job.
Hmm.
But it was more nerves of um kind of the stuff you have to do as you're preparing for takeoff. Like all the like safety checks and everything you have to do, making sure you get all of that done before you take off. Then once you're like in the air, it's a piece of cake.
Sure.
But it was, yeah, at first it was just kind of the nerves of making sure I do everything right and I'm following all the regulations. And that was a little hard to get used to. Took a couple weeks to kind of get, comfortable with that. And then once you've got that down and you're used to it, it's really pretty easy.
Well, that's good. It's force a
Yeah.
habit, I guess, after a while.
It is. Yeah, it is. And we fly four different types of aircraft with my company. So we have to
Cool.
learn like all the different kinds. And one of them is a really small one. It's just a 50-seater, so there's only one flight
Whoa.
attendant.
Whoa.
So that was an adjustment, figuring out how to do everything on your own in the back.
Sure.
Um, but it can be fun. It gets lonely if it's a really long flight because you don't have anyone working with you to like talk to.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, I like those. Those are pretty fun.
Man, those are the ones that like have chicken coops in the back and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
That's very common.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Movies don't lie.
No, not at all.
So,
They're very accurate.
do you
Yeah.
get to pick what flights you go on?
Um,
Or do they like assign you?
Not really. So yeah, they pretty much assign me the position I'm in. It's called being on reserve. So I'm essentially the days that I'm working, I'm on call.
Oh, cool.
So they assign me to, if somebody calls out sick or they call out because they don't feel like working or whatever, they will put me on that flight.
Sure.
So it's different every time. I never really know where I'm going. Sometimes they'll give me things up to 5 days ahead of time. I'll know where I'm going, but up until then, I have no idea. I could go anywhere.
Sure.
So
Man.
that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I
It's
bet.
always different. Yeah.
Wow. What's the longest flight you've ever been on?
For work,
Yes.
it was probably 4.5 hours,
Not bad. Not bad.
which is not too bad. Yeah, we're regional, so we don't do huge international flights.
Gotcha.
We only go between like the only international is Canada and Mexico.
Cool.
So I've been to Canada a few times. Haven't done any Mexico flights yet, but Canada several times.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
That's cool. What's the longest flight you've
yeah.
been on in life?
In life, probably 14 hours because I went over to China.
Ooh, what was that like?
Yeah, it was, so I got to go twice, and
What?
kind of experienced two different areas. The first time, was when I was 12. Our whole family went over because we adopted my two youngest sisters.
Right.
So that was a big family trip. That was really cool. And it was a whole different experience because we were, getting two new family members.
Sure.
So yeah, that was more of not so much sightseeing. It was kind of we had to be in certain areas.
Sure.
Then the second time I went back was 10 years ago. I went with my um, sister and we went on, it was a mission trip over there to work in orphanages. So we were kind
Oh,
of seeing a
cool.
different part of China than we did the first time because it was more in like the rural areas where it's not so touristy.
Right.
So that was a little eye-opening because we got to walk around this little village where it was just very, it was very poor and kind of like farm life,
Sure.
where before we were staying in the bigger cities when we were there the first time.
Wow. That's pretty neat seeing both sides.
Yeah. 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 It was cool to be able to experience it in different ways.
Sure. And a 14-hour flight. Goodness.
Yeah, that was long.
That's a bit. That is a
That
bit.
was a long flight.
Sheesh. Was it a big plane? Had to have been, right? Those long ones have to be pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah, that one was a big one. I think it was one where you have like it's like four, and there's then the middle row that has four seats and then four on the right. So yeah, that's a big plane.
I think that the first plane I ever was on was one of those. And it was a
Okay.
straight shot from Miami to San Francisco. It was like 6.5 hour flight.
That's a long flight. Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. But that was my first time on a plane, so I was like, "What is this?"
Oh, no kidding.
It was massive.
That's, yeah, that's a big one to be on for the first flight.
A little bit, two
Yeah.
aisles. I was like, "What is?" And I haven't been on a plane that size since. So now I'm like, okay,
Okay.
all right, not bad, not bad.
So you've gotten used to the smaller ones now.
Yes,
Yeah.
significantly. There's a very small airport like 2 hours north of where I'm at that my wife's family takes all the time, and it's one of
Hmm.
those like chicken ones. So it's
Oh,
very
with
small.
like, yeah, like the ones that I'm flying.
Yeah, zero amenities. Like there's like
Yeah.
they took out the carpet for aerodynamics. It's one of those. And I was like,
Wow.
okay. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but
It's like one of the little prop planes.
yeah, little tiny ones. It runs on hopes and
Yeah.
dreams.
Yeah. Duct tape holding some of the wing together.
That's right. That's right. You just
Yeah.
reapply every time you land.
Yeah,
There's
those
a
are great.
system. Yeah, there's a system
Super
here.
safe.
My goodness. So was the job? I've talked to a lot of people who like wanted to do something and then they did it. Was
Yeah.
being a stewardess different than what you expected it to be?
I honestly didn't have too many expectations going into it as far as what the job would be because I honestly had no idea what I was in for. I knew
Sure.
that I would be flying a lot, but I really had no idea. So I guess it's different in that I'm learning a lot of like the back end of things with operations and that kind of stuff and seeing how all of that works.
Sure.
So I didn't know that I would be learning as much as I am about how kind of all the airlines and airports run.
Right.
So it's all been in good ways that it's different.
That's good.
Yeah,
Do you look at
yeah.
do you look at planes differently now when you fly like not for work?
I do because now like I've gotten familiar with the different types of planes, so I'm always kind of looking at them and see if I can figure out, which one is which, and I'm always looking at where the exits are and kind of getting familiar with that But yeah, and then I also look at it and like I don't even want to get on that plane because I'm on it for work.
Sure. That
So
makes sense.
I don't even want to get on a plane, but I want to take advantage of the fact that I can travel, so I just suck it up and I get on the plane.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Man. So like when they're doing the checks and stuff and you're a passenger, you're like, not bad. Not bad. All right. Okay. Oh, hold on. Are
Oh,
you
I just tune out. I'm
Yeah.
so done. I'm so done with the job.
You're like, I don't want to
My
be.
headphones are in. I'm sleeping.
That's fair.
I'm not even paying attention, except when they're actually doing the service. Then I'm actually like taking notes sometimes of like how to do things or how not to do things.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Left hand buckle, right hand clasp. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I like her method. That's
That's
good.
right. Okay. Eye contact. Too intense. Too intense. Hold on.
Yes. I gotta reel that back a little bit.
Yeah. Oh man. So what are the hours like for a stewardess? You say you're on call. Is this like a
Hmm.
like you go in the mornings and then your nights? Like how does it even work?
Yeah. Yeah. We have two different types of like being on call. So we have airport ready, which is where we're actually sitting at the airport on call, ready to go, like be at the gate
Oh,
in 15 minutes, like if it's a really last minute thing that they need somebody.
sure.
And that can be the longest we can be on airport ready is for 8 hours. So
Oh.
those can be long days
Whew.
because they don't always call you.
Oh
So
man.
you're just kind of sitting at the airport for 8 hours. So you find the hidden places in the airports where you can hide and the quiet areas or the good places to eat, or you
Sure.
just hide in the crew room away from everybody.
Smart. Smart.
Yeah. And then there's just the normal on call where you have a 12-hour shift every day,
Oh.
and they usually give you 2 hour the minimum that they can give you to get to the airport is 2 hours. It can be a little bit more if they have more of a heads up.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, they have an AM or a PM shift. So I'm usually on AM, which is 3 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
So they can call me anytime in between there, and I have to be to the airport ready to go. And then the PM is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah. So the AM shift has its uh, perks, but then also they could call you at 3 a.m. So then it's not
Yeah.
so great if they call you that early. But if they don't call you right away in the morning, you can kind of sleep through it. And
Sure.
then by the time you're up, you've kind of passed half of the time away, and then you're done early if they don't use you.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
There's worse ways to make a living.
there are. Like, I don't mind. And then since I live in Milwaukee, I'm within the 2 hours, so I can stay home. And
Oh,
then
cool.
if I need to, I can just drive down that same day. So I don't have to worry. I didn't have to move or anything, which was a huge blessing because that would have been a pain.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because they basically give you, like right out of training, they'll assign you your base. And our company has 20 bases throughout the country. So they'll assign you your base. And then you'll
Oh,
have from the day they assign it to you, basically you have 4 days to move
wow.
and then you start.
Good Lord. It's like the
So
military.
it was pretty intense. I'm really thankful I didn't have to deal with that.
Oh, man. Wow. I did not realize that. Like
Yeah.
they deploy you.
Yeah, once you're out of training, you are their property and they send you to where they need you and you're starting right away.
Oh, man. What would you say are like common misconceptions people have about stewardesses? Are they
Steward
stewards?
Stewardess is like the old-fashioned term for
Okay. Well,
it. I
I'm
mean,
old.
it's more like it's the common term for it is flight attendant now.
Flight attendant. That makes sense.
Yes, but like
Okay.
my grandpa calls me a stew, so
Oh, all right.
it's fine.
That's different.
Anywhere in between, it's fine. Whatever you want to
Okay,
use, it's
flight
fine.
attendant. You
Yeah,
know what? I'm gonna write that down.
a flight.
Flight attendant.
Some 'Cause some people get really offended when you say stewardess. I don't
Wow.
care. Like
Whew.
if you, it's
That
that's
was
what they
close.
are. Like you can call me whatever, but yeah, I guess I don't know
Flight
why people take
attendant.
offense to it, but they
Okay.
do. But yeah, flight attendant, I guess, is like
I know what I learned today.
the preferred term.
That makes sense because I was gonna be like, what are dudes
Yeah.
called? It's like, oh,
Right.
okay.
Right. And I
You're
think that's why they've
ah
changed over to flight attendant is because there's more and more guys getting into the industry.
makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I guess.
Yeah, okay. Flight
But yeah,
attendant.
misconceptions. I guess that it's glamorous because it's not. A lot of people think that it's like, oh, how great you get to fly, for your job, and then you get to fly, pretty much for free when you're not working,
Right.
and you have all this time to go explore these cities when really you're putting in sometimes these 12-hour days where by the time you get to the hotel at the end of the night, you're just done and
Yeah.
you want to go to bed. You don't, sometimes you get in early enough where you can go kind of explore wherever you are for the night, but it's very tiring and it can
Sure.
it can be very lonely
I bet.
because you're gone, you're away from home for 3, 4, 5 days at a time, depending on your trip. And yeah, you're working with people, but usually you don't know the people that you're working with. There's so many people, you're always working with new people.
Right.
Um, so it can get pretty lonely. You try to hang out with your crew as much as possible to kind of take that away. But yeah, it can kind of get you.
I bet. I bet. Always on the
Yeah,
go.
exactly. It's totally worth it though. I absolutely love it.
I
It's
think that's
definitely not a
important.
lifestyle for everyone,
Yeah.
but uh,
Sure.
it's a lot of fun.
And if you're wired that way, it's got to be super awesome. Like it's just some
Yeah,
people have that sort of let's do this about them, and then it facilitates that really well. I think that's interesting.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it would be hard for, I see a lot of like single moms doing it. I give them
Really,
so much credit. I don't know how they
props.
do it. Yeah, yeah, it's amazing that they can get that done. I don't know how I would do it. I
Sure.
don't, I plan on doing this. I'm single, don't have any kids or anything, so I'm able to do this. So I'm taking that opportunity to do it now. Whereas, hopefully someday I'll get married and have a family and I won't be doing this anymore because I want to
Sure.
be home with my family. So
Right.
I guess it just works differently for different people depending on what their preferences are.
For sure. For sure. Do you
Hmm.
do you have a favorite place that you've traveled to so far that like for exploring and doing cool stuff?
Yeah, I absolutely love anywhere in Colorado.
Okay.
Um,
Colorado's beautiful.
yeah,
Nice airport.
specifically Colorado Springs Airport is really
Yep.
pretty. Denver's nice. It's really big, but it's
Very
nice.
big.
Um, yeah, Colorado Springs is nice because they where they put us for the night is really close to like the Garden of the Gods area
Oh,
and
dude.
some good hiking and there's a cave that you can go. I took a tour of a cave there. So that's one of my favorite places. I like anywhere where I can get out and like go hiking or something like that.
That's a good one. Garden of the Gods is so cool.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
I just went there last year,
Oh,
like this,
awesome.
like beginning. I think it was first week of December, November, December, something like that. But man,
Did
whew,
you get to like drive through all of it and see?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's the balancing rock there,
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
which I redubbed the balanced rock.
The bounce
You know,
rock. Makes sense that you would coin that.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying it's mine now. Yeah, that place is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I love it there.
They say that the Denver airport is the best airport in the world. That's what
I
they
would
say.
disagree with that. I mean,
Yeah.
it does have a Chick-fil-A in it, so that's a huge bonus.
Yep.
Because I kind of judge airports on whether or not they have a Chick-fil-A in it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
There's a
So
certain
that
level they
that
gotta
gives
reach.
it, yeah, that gives it bonus points for sure.
Yeah, I'm on a Popeyes kick lately. Been,
Popeye, wow,
yeah,
you've hopped on that
I've
bandwagon.
hopped on the bandwagon. And you know what's weird? I don't even eat the chicken from Popeyes. I eat the shrimp
Okay, I will give that to you. As long as you're not like
in the
converting over to the
no from
Popeyes
the
chicken
yeah from
sandwich.
the chicken wars.
Yeah, no, no,
Yeah,
no. That's different.
yeah, no,
Okay,
no, 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 no.
that's acceptable.
I don't even eat like the Popeyes chicken is really crunchy, and I'm like, all right, but their shrimp is like the best shrimp from anywhere. They're like
See, I'm
spicy
not,
Cajun shrimp. Oh,
I'll take your word for it on that.
ooh,
I'm not a big shrimp person.
really? Well, you're from Milwaukee.
So
That makes sense.
yeah, not a big seafood thing. Or I
Dude,
like
I
seafood, but
love
Milwaukee is
seafood.
not like a big seafood
Yeah,
destination.
you're more a cheese destination. I get it. And
Yes.
supposedly those don't mix. That's what I've heard. It's like
Cheese and fish?
you're not supposed to put cheese on fish. I do
I
whatever I
mean,
want because I live my best life, but
I
that's what I've
would do,
heard.
I eat cheese with pretty much anything.
Yeah, you
So
have to.
I would do it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You are
It's just,
legally
it's there.
obligated
Yeah.
as a
As a
Milwaukeean.
cheesehead.
As a cheesehead. Yeah, that's
As a cheesehead.
such a great term. Do you have a cheese
It's,
hat?
I do not. I think
Katie,
like growing up, I think I had a cheese head.
what are we
But
doing here?
I know. I know.
We need to get you a cheese hat.
I know. I
I need
really
a
do
cheese
need
hat.
one. I don't think I really feel truly validated as a Wisconsinite
That's what I'm saying.
without a cheese hat. Yeah.
Wisconsinite. Is that what they're called?
Wisconsinite. Yeah, Wisconsinite.
Wow.
I know.
That is a cool term. Look at all
I
these
think
words we're
it's so
dissecting today.
fancy.
Wisconsinite. See, I know Floridian, but then
Floridian.
what in the
That
world?
kind of it's okay. It's
Yeah,
not as
it's
like
got its
regal
own.
sounding as
No,
Wisconsinite.
it is not. It's Florida. It is not regal at
It's
all.
Florida. There's nothing regal about
No,
Florida.
we got Florida man, and he is the antithesis to any sort of royalty. My
Oh,
goodness.
the weirdest stuff happens in Florida.
Tell me about it. Anytime there's
What
news
is
or headline, I'm like, wait for it. From
It's
Florida.
gonna be Florida.
Yep.
Shocker. What have you done the search where you search like do Florida and then your birth month
No.
and then like the news story from that pops up?
No.
Oh my
What?
goodness. You need to do that to
What do you
see
have
what
to
your
do?
news story is.
You put
So
Florida?
you type in like Florida and then whatever your birth month is, and then it'll bring up like the most popular article from that month in Florida. And it's
Really?
probably something weird. Like mine was the guy that got arrested on college campuses for smelling women's feet. So,
Fair.
and of course it was from Florida.
Yep. Oh, there's that, and that's tip of the iceberg. My goodness,
Yeah.
Florida's
Oh,
Florida's fun.
there's so much.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Florida man stories. There's a bit in Atlanta. There's a show called Atlanta with Donald Glover
Okay.
and Brian Henry. It's a hilarious show, but they have this whole bit about Florida man. And this guy talks about, he's like, don't go to Florida. He's like, why? He goes, because they got Florida man there. It's like, what's Florida man? He goes, well, they called him an alt-right Johnny Appleseed. They're like, nobody knows what he looks like or who he is. That's why all the headlines say Florida man.
This is Florida man.
It's like, and he talks about it as if it's one person doing all of these ridiculous things.
Which it probably is.
It's so funny. It's like ridiculous headlines. It's like Florida man beats a flamingo to death. And they're like, what is happening?
So great.
So,
Which I'm sure is a legit headline.
oh, for sure. It's all of it. It's like Florida man breaks
Yep.
into ex's delivery room and beats up husband while she's giving birth. Like,
Oh my gosh. Just the craziest stuff.
oh my God, that's so funny. So anytime I see Florida man, I think of that.
That's awesome.
Yep. My God. Oh, here we go. I did it. Okay, we're doing this live. So
All right,
mine
what's
is
your story?
Florida man 91 threatens pastor over ex-girlfriend.
Oh my word.
Yep. Oh, there's a
Yeah,
much there's a
that
much
sounds
worse
right.
one. There's a much worse one, but I'm not saying that on the show.
It's not appropriate.
Yeah, no, it is not. It's Florida, Florida. Okay.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less.
So with you traveling so much, what do you pack?
Oh, that pretty much,
You have like a
I
kit?
pretty much have the same stuff that I bring with me every time. So for the summer, I just try to pack, I try to pack as light as possible.
Smart.
So like pretty much like dress and maybe 2 shirts and a pair of pants or something that I can kind of rotate through while
Sure.
I'm gone for 4 days. And then, I've got my workout clothes that I've had in my bag for a year and have used once.
It's
But
just
they're
nice to have
there. I
them.
think it counts.
I agree. I totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I think it counts.
I'll give it to you.
And then like an extra uniform and then all my like necessities and
Sure.
like toiletries and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All the fun stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I always have my swimming suit because sometimes after a long day, I want to go sit in the hot tub.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair. Are you on your
But
feet?
then
You gotta be on your feet a lot, right? Walking up and down the mountains and
yes, all day.
stuff? Ooh.
So it's hard to find shoes that are really comfortable for standing in all day that also look nice,
Sure.
that are like kind of fashionable. So that was a trick when I first started, was to find a good shoe
Fair.
that wasn't going to kill my feet or my back.
Sure.
So yeah, I was able to find some good shoes, and then you gotta. Oh, I bring extra shoes obviously because I'm not wearing my work shoes during the day.
Right.
Yeah, and then in the winter it's harder because you have to pack more stuff in the winter
Oh, sure.
and like thicker stuff, so you can't pack as much. So you have to kind of get creative with what you pack so that you can kind of wear. You're basically wearing the same stuff every day
Sure.
on your on your overnight, but um, nobody cares because
Yeah.
we're all doing the same thing. We're all
Yeah, of
doing the same
course.
thing.
Where do you iron your uniform? Because everyone always looks so nice.
I don't iron mine.
Nice. I don't either.
So I get it dry cleaned.
Oh, smart.
So yeah. So
That's
like when
way
I'm
better.
home, I go get it dry cleaned and then it comes, I don't have to iron it. If if it gets really wrinkly, all of the hotel rooms have an ironing board and an iron, so I can do it really quickly in the hotel room if I need to. But
Sure.
um yeah, other than that, I don't even bother.
I don't blame you at all. You got enough to worry about.
Yeah. Now I know the pilots, they're they're always ironing their shirts because they get, they're sitting in them all day, so they get super wrinkly
Sure.
every time they're flying. So I know they'll either bring an extra one so they don't have to, or they're ironing their shirt almost every day.
Oh, man.
So I'm just really glad I don't have to do that.
Yeah. Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Man, have you ever smashed your shin on the cart?
Oh yeah, I've smashed
Yep.
my shin. I smashed my face on an overhead bin
Oh, no.
because of turbulence
Oh, no.
in front of all the passengers. It was great.
Oh, no.
My glasses went like flying off my face.
Oh, no. And you come back and they're like scared and you're just like, it's fine. It's just turbulence.
Everything's fine. My face is fine,
Yeah.
guys. It's okay.
Should we be worried? She looks worried. Her
It's
glasses are disheveled.
no, I recovered very quickly.
Like a professional.
Yeah, of course. My captain called me immediately because it was so smooth, and all of a sudden we just hit this like really big pocket of turbulence where it was completely unexpected.
Oh,
And I was as I was like turning the corner to walk down the aisle and do my final like safety checks and everything.
hmm.
And then yeah, just my face was a goner.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
my
that
God.
was fun.
That's what we call rite of passage. Well done.
Pretty much. If you don't have any sort of turbulence injury, you're not really a flight attendant yet.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's when you earn the
Yeah.
title. You're a stewardess until that happens, and then you're a flight
Exactly.
attendant.
And then you are initiated to
And
a
mind
flight
you,
attendant.
that is not gender specific. The men are also stewardesses until
Right.
they sustain the
Exactly.
injury. You know,
So they have to get injured.
that's right. It's just part of it. Which I
Yeah,
respect.
it comes with the territory.
That's so funny. So it's such a specific thing, like the safety checks and everything.
Mhm.
Have you ever run out of like the things that people get every time, like the pretzels and the Cheez-Its and like the usuals?
Not the snacks, but the drinks, specifically Diet Coke.
Oh,
Like you would think they would learn how, like, what people like to drink on the
sure.
flights, and somehow they never seem to give us enough Diet Coke.
Oh boy.
That's always the one that runs out.
Whew. When you said you stay in hotels a lot, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Are you like in a different hotel every night because you're constantly back and forth?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh
like
boy.
if they give me, say it's like a 4-day trip, so I'm gone, I start on, what is this week? I'll start tomorrow and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll end on Friday. And then each night I'll be in a different city.
Wow.
So they'll take care of all of the hotel accommodations and everything.
That's cool.
But yeah, I'm pretty much every night that I'm gone, I'm in a different city.
Wow. That is tense.
It's fun. I love it. It just, it makes it keeps it interesting because every time you're gone, you're pretty much doing something new, even though it's the same job, but you're getting to go to different places.
Sure. New people, different things. Like it's all.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
neat.
It keeps it exciting. Yeah.
I can imagine. And you don't really have a lot. Do you have downtime within those periods?
Sometimes it depends. It depends on the trip. Like if we are on a trip that maybe we're starting super early in the mornings,
Hmm.
we'll get in earlier in the afternoon, and then we have the rest of the day off in whatever city we end up in that we can do whatever. So we can go explore the city, or there was one time where we were in Hattiesburg, Mississippi,
Oh,
and it was about an hour and a half drive from New Orleans.
sweet.
And we had a whole day in between our trip that we didn't have any flights.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
me and the pilots rented a car and we drove to New Orleans for the day and just explored the area.
There you go.
So yeah, you make the most with, wherever you are and try to have as much fun as you can.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So do you ever do more than one flight in a day? Because you're talking about you do.
Yeah, I anywhere between the most I've done in one day is 5 flights.
Oh,
And
what?
that's exhausting.
I bet.
That is exhausting.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, and that's the one I was talking about where you only have the one flight attendant. It's usually that plane that we have the 5 flights. So it is just a constant, very quickly you land, you get everyone off, you get everyone back on again, and you're going.
Oh, man.
Yeah, those are long days.
I bet. 5 flights in one day. Good Lord. Usually the
Yeah.
most a traveler will do is like two. You got like a layover and then
Yeah, you get
sometimes
that
three.
one connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 5.
Oh, man. And so when you know you're like semi-schedule up ahead of the time, right? So are
Hmm.
you able to how often, better question. How often
Yeah.
are there delays for you? Because statistically I feel like it'd be higher because you're flying more,
Yeah.
but the
It
average person not very much.
yeah. You could go a couple weeks without having any delays, but then
Oh,
you run into like this summer in Chicago was horrible because there were thunderstorms. I think it was in June and a little bit into July. There was a thunderstorm almost every single day, and when there's lightning, they can't. Everything comes to a complete stop at the airport.
oh, really?
So
Makes
yeah, and they
sense.
have to wait 15 minutes, and every time there's a lightning strike, within a certain number of miles. I don't remember how close to the airport, but within a certain distance, there's a lightning strike. You have to wait another 15 minutes. So it
Oh,
keeps getting longer and longer. And then, delays are backing up the next flights and it can get super messy.
oh,
So it was a rough summer with all of the thunderstorms we had. But yeah, I mean, we have on each trip, we have at least one delayed flight per trip. I would
really?
say, just due to things that are out of our control, whether it's um, a crew needs their required rest for the night, um, or there's, thunderstorms and soon it's going to be winter. So then you got all the snowstorms,
Oh,
tons of stuff. But yeah, we're probably delayed at least once per trip.
wow.
Hmm.
In your experience, what do you find delays planes the most? Weather, technical issues, or something else?
Probably weather's more common. You do have the mechanical delays typically are the longer ones because you're waiting for sometimes they have to fly or drive a part in to the airport to fix something.
Sure.
Like I was in Savannah, Georgia for about 6 hours waiting for something to get fixed.
Ooh,
Yeah. So I think those tend to be the worst ones, whereas weather you can kind of those are easier to predict and you can plan for those a little better and then you can kind of catch up a little easier too.
sure, sure. Man, I also didn't realize that there are like regional airlines that don't like
Yeah.
not everything goes everywhere. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So ours, there's quite a few of them, and I think ours is one of the bigger ones. And we operate flights for um, Delta, United, American, and Alaska Airlines.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's another thing I learned recently was that different airlines will like share planes. So I'll have like a
Yeah.
Delta flight with a Korean Air plane. I was like, what is going on?
Right, right. Like it's called code sharing. So they'll have like an international airline that will operate that you'll like get basically a ticket through United,
Yep.
but your next flight, if you're going international, will be on like ANA Airlines or something like that.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, that was something I didn't know until I got this job.
Sure. These are the things that we learn. The inner workings. Airports are
Exactly.
never the same.
And I love it because, every day or every time I'm working, I'm learning something new about airlines, and it's fascinating. And there's so much that goes into it that I had no idea.
Sure. What's been the biggest surprise?
The complexity of scheduling
Really?
as far as like getting crews, um, like determining which crew is going to be flying which flight and getting airplanes to a certain area. Because sometimes we're flying an empty airplane to get it into
What?
a different airport to take people somewhere else. So
Really?
yeah, like there can be, you can be stuck somewhere without an airplane if there's been delays or whatever. You might have an extra airplane at maybe one of our maintenance hangars that's ready to go.
Mm.
So you'll call in pilots to just move that plane over to the other airport to get the passengers out.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's like all of that, the coordination behind it is insane.
Man, have you ever flown in an empty airplane?
I have a couple times.
Is it
It's pretty
weird?
fun. It's kind of eerie, especially at night, because you turn all the lights
Oh,
off.
weird.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of bizarre.
What? I can't even imagine that. Just an empty airplane. You're like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah, you're just kind of like sitting there, and you can, take a nap if you want, and you're not really doing anything.
Weird. Huh.
Yeah,
I didn't even know they
it's
could do
not
that.
it's not very often,
Sure.
but yeah, it does happen.
Huh. How often are planes super booked or overbooked? I mean the second word. Because I feel like it happens.
Overbooked.
Yeah, I feel like that
Yeah,
happens a lot, and I don't understand it.
yeah. So I don't remember which one it is. It might be United. They're authorized to overbook a flight by a certain number of tickets because they expect a certain number of people to not show up or not make it on their connection or something like that.
Oh,
So that's when sometimes, you run into the issues where they're asking for volunteers
right.
to, take the next flight out or something. But yeah, it's because they've oversold the flight, accounting for a certain number of people not making it to it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense.
Which, yeah, I think it's ridiculous,
Yeah,
but
same. I mean, because I always
yeah,
wondered, I was like, how? How is this allowed? X amount of
yeah.
seats, X amount of people.
Like you should know how many seats you have and only
Yeah,
sell that number of seats.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, common sense would
Huh.
tell you that. Yeah.
Well, all right. To the defense of the airline, they are expecting. I mean, that's still pretty bold, though.
It is. It is. Because then, yeah, you have those situations where you need people to get off. Now, it also happens where, if somebody misses their connection, they get bumped to the next flight. Then that affects
Oh.
the oversold status because then they're oversold because of a previous flight. So it may not have been technically oversold before those other passengers got bumped up onto that flight.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there overhead space equivalent to the amount of seats in the plane? I asked the real questions, Katie.
Now we're getting to
Yeah.
it. No, no, and especially on our smaller regional jets, the overhead bins are smaller than on like the big Boeings and Airbuses.
Hmm.
Um, so often we have to especially if they have like those, the roller suitcases, those pretty
Right.
much never fit um, in our regional jets. So we do like a valet check. So they'll get a little tag for it in the jet bridge and leave it there. And then they just bring it right back up onto the jet bridge once you get there. So you don't have to wait for it. You're not like checking it through. It's still your carry-on.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there's definitely not like equal space for the amount of
I
people
knew it.
for sure.
Have you ever seen where they put the bags in the plane? Like, have you been to every part of a plane?
I want to go in the cargo hold so bad.
Yeah, right. How do we make
I
that happen?
know Oh, I don't know if I can just kind of weasel my way into like one of our hangars sometime. If I like get to be really good friends with maybe somebody on maintenance or one of the pilots and just see if he can sneak me down there because I really want to go in there.
Right? It's got to be cool.
I think it would be really cool. Yeah.
Man. So
Yeah.
what advice would you give to somebody who wants to become a flight attendant?
Yeah. Well, make sure that you have the flexibility to maintain this lifestyle because that's a huge part of it. A lot of people will get into it thinking that they can adjust to it, but they really just find out they don't want to be gone that much or whatever. It might not fit into their family life or whatever they have going on back at home. So just kind of make sure before you even start that you actually are willing to, if you need to move or, be gone for 20 days out of the month or whatever it may be. Um, that was a huge part of it for me was just adjusting to that. Other than that, just if you want to try it, go for it because so many airlines are hiring right now. I know Delta is hiring about 2,500
Whew.
flight attendants for this coming year.
Oh man, that was a
Yeah.
different number than I expected.
Yes. Yeah, almost somewhere between like 2,500 and 3,000 new flight attendants. So they're hiring like crazy. Our company is always hiring. I'm with SkyWest.
Right on.
And I think Southwest is about to open theirs. So yeah, as long as you're actually like prepared for the kind of lifestyle,
Sure.
I would go for it because it's so much fun. And you get to not only while you're working, but then you get the benefits. Aside from that, you get to go explore all over the world.
Yeah, that's cool. That makes sense though to keep in mind how much the job takes as well. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
be aware for how involved it is.
Yeah, yeah, and it happened to a couple people that were in my training class. They just, got a few months into it and realized how much they actually had to be gone and just realized, it's not for me. I'm gonna go back to what I was doing before, and that's totally fine. It's not a lifestyle for everybody, but um, if you can make it work with your home life and all of that, it's awesome.
Sure. It's as demanding as it is rewarding, which is what you want ideally.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So if someone does become a stewardess, do you got any little tips for them? Be like, hey, the pretzel's in the left.
And the the Stroop waffles on United
Oh, they're so good.
are so delicious.
Yeah, they are.
I've had to like cut myself off from eating those. They're so good. And if you're on American, if you're like working in the first class area,
Hmm.
the snack baskets that we give to first class are very tasty because sometimes there will
Hey,
be some leftover, snacks in there from the flight. So
I like
those
it.
are those are my go-to treats. American has the best snack basket, I think.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Those
Yeah.
stroop waffles are so good.
Oh my gosh.
My
And I think you can
goodness.
get them at like Target now or Walmart or something like that. I've been seeing them pop up
Yeah.
a few places.
Whew. Apparently, you're supposed to like put them on a cup of like tea or coffee.
Yes. So
I've never done that. Have you done it?
they fit perfect. Oh, that's the only way you can eat a Stroop waffle.
I am a
You
heathen.
put it
Therefore,
over.
I just eat it.
Are you a coffee drinker?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you get a cup of coffee and you just unwrap it and you set it right like above the coffee, like on the rim of the cup.
Yeah.
And you just let the heat, like it uh, gets the caramel all gooey and you break it. Oh, it's so good.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
I've never eaten it like that the proper way. I've always just like
Oh, it's a
unwrapped
game
it and eaten
changer.
it.
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
I feel like I'm a different man now.
I mean, in a hurry, it's okay to just like unwrap it and eat it like a
Yep.
heathen like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
but the real way to eat it is to heat it up, or over tea or something. But
Sure.
it's so good.
Ooh. And those are on United. Noted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Man, can you believe we've been talking for an hour already?
Has it been an hour?
Yeah, it has. Woo!
Dang.
I
Time
know.
flies.
Pretty good, right? Pretty good. This was super fun. Have you had a good time?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I enjoy talking about this, especially, with, people that don't really know anybody else in the industry and has never like kind of heard the inner workings of it before.
Sure.
I just like to hear the questions that people come up with because they're the same questions that I had when I first got the job. And it's fun just kind of sharing all of that with everybody.
Yeah, and that's the secret to my show. I don't know anything, so it works
Yeah.
out.
Tell me all you know so that I know everything.
It starts with not a lot and then Star Wars.
Right.
But
Well, Star Wars is the backbone of everything,
that's what I've been
obviously.
trying to say for so long. I'm going to put you in contact with my wife.
I
But where,
you can sway her.
yeah,
Yeah.
where can people find you online if they want to ask you
Yeah.
questions or be like, hey, that's really cool?
Yeah. I'm pretty much the most active on Instagram.
Love it.
And it's Travelin' Tater.
Love it.
So that's my Instagram. I like never use Twitter. Sometimes
that's
I'll go
okay.
on there to check somebody's feed, but never do anything on there. So that's, yeah, pretty much just Instagram.
Instagram's the superior social media. There, I said it.
It is.
Boom. The line's in the
If
sand.
I could just have one, it would be Instagram. Like I could do without Facebook or any of the other ones.
Yeah, I think I'm the same.
Yeah.
Man. Well, fly safe, I guess. Is that what you
Thank
say?
you.
Is there a sign off? Do you guys have like a cool thing that you say?
Well, United, I guess, thinks it's cool. It's like
I guess.
I think they got rid of it because they realized it wasn't that great. It was thank you for flying the friendly skies with us today.
Okay.
Which I'm not a huge fan of, so I never
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah, I can't say.
But that was their thing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm with you on this one.
Yeah.
Because then there's always going to be that one guy like, there was turbulence. It wasn't friendly at all.
It
I'm
wasn't.
like,
That's
all right,
not a
fair.
friendly sky.
No. God, that
No,
sky
that's
punched
probably
me.
why they got rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not nice.
Clear skies, I guess, is a thing, right? We can.
Clear skies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what's the thing? You are now free to move out the cabin.
Oh, there we go. That's the good one.
I like to do like. Now I just forgot it. But it's basically like you're now free to move about the world. Like
There
just
we go.
go enjoy your travels.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The seatbelt sign is off.
Yeah. You're now free.
Yeah.
Nobody listens to it anyways, so in their minds they're always free.
Yeah. There you go. That's how you end it. Yeah. Just be free.
Be free. Go be free.
That's right. Hey. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Interesting Podcast. If you'd like to follow the show, it's at Pod of Interest on Twitter. If you'd like to follow me, I'm at Jedi Brian on all social media sites. You can also find me at brianballance.com. That's Balance with 2 L's. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it and tell your friends. A good rating or review always helps. Let them know we've got some cool stuff going on over here. Speaking of cool stuff, we now have merch. Just search The Interesting Podcast on tpublic.com to get you some sweet gear. Also, I made a Patreon. So if you'd like to support the show and get access to other exclusive shows about a bunch of random things, you can now do that at patreon.com/JediBrian. On that note, special thanks to Chris, Ben, Jim, Daz, Kelly, Daryl, Logan, Victor, JC, and Christina. Your support means so much to me, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. So until next time, be well.